Next week, the most hawkish Federal Reserve chair in a generation runs his first meeting. This is a man who once called money printing a reverse Robin Hood, a man who wants to shrink the Fed's balance sheet by trillions. And here's the uncomfortable part. Even he can't fix the dollar. This is the Weekly Rebuttal. Steelman first, fact check second. Educational commentary only, not financial advice. On June 16th and 17th, Kevin Warsh runs his first meeting as chair of the Federal Reserve. And if you have been waiting for a sound money hawk to take over the printer, you finally got one. He is not a random pick. Warsh was the youngest Fed governor in history. He sat inside the Fed during the 2008 crisis, and since he left, he has been the most prominent, hard money voice in the room. So let's steelman the optimistic case, because it is strong. Warsh is not a dove. He spent years as the Fed's most outspoken critic of quantitative easing. Money printing. He called it, in his own words, in some sense, a reverse Robin Hood, a policy that pumped up the price of stocks and houses for people who already owned them, while everyone else got left behind. He wants to shrink the Fed's balance sheet, which has ballooned past $6.5 trillion. And he wants a real target and timeline to do it. He wants to go back to a hard, strict 2% inflation target. He even wants to undo the 2020 change, when the Fed decided to let inflation run hot for a while to make up for past misses. He wants the old strict line back. He told the Senate his predecessors made a terrible error by waiting too long to fight inflation. So if you wanted someone to bring discipline back to the dollar, this is the closest the system has produced in a very long time. That is the honest, strongest version of the hope. Now let's check it. Here's the problem even Kevin Warsh can't solve. He did not inherit a blank page. He inherited a machine. That $6.5 trillion balance sheet does not disappear because a hawk walked in the door. And look at the trap he is walking into. The president who put him there is also publicly demanding rate cuts. So the most hawkish chair in a generation begins his term being pressured to do the dovish thing. A Fed chair does not operate in a vacuum. He operates inside political pressure, a mountain of existing debt, and markets that panic the second money gets tight. Good intentions meet a system that is built to keep printing, and there is a deeper reason the printer never really turns off. The government is sitting on record debt. When you owe that much, a little inflation is not a bug. It quietly shrinks what you owe in real terms. So the system has a built-in appetite to keep money loose, no matter who chairs the Fed. Warsh can lean against that. He cannot delete it. Now zoom out. Since the Federal Reserve was created in 1913, the dollar has lost more than 96% of its purchasing power. Put that in plain terms. What $1 bought in 1913 now takes more than $30 to buy. And that happened under hawks and under doves, under Volcker, who crushed inflation, under Greenspan, under Bernanke, under Powell, different chairs, different politics, same direction. The trend does not care who is sitting in the chair. So betting that this one chair finally reverses a 100-year slide is a bet against the entire history of the institution. And here's the part that should stop you. When the incoming Fed chair himself describes the system as a reverse Robin Hood, quietly moving wealth toward the people who already hold assets and away from regular savers, that is not a Bitcoiner talking point. That is the Fed chair, diagnosing the exact disease. If you hold assets, the machine quietly works for you. If you save in dollars, it works against you. That is the reverse Robin Hood, in one sentence. He sees it, he has named it, and he still cannot opt out of it, because the machine does not run on his opinion, it runs on the pressure to keep the system liquid, the government funded, and the markets calm. So here's the real distinction. It was never hawk versus dove. It is whether anyone can change the rules. A Fed chair, even the best one, can change his mind. He can get overruled. He can cave to a president. He can retire in 4 years and hand the printer to someone else. Bitcoin's supply is 21 million. That number cannot be hiked, paused, or revised by any chair, any president, or any vote. There is no reverse Robin Hood setting because there is no one at the controls. New chair, same machine. That is the whole point. So let's be fair on the scorecard. A hawk like Warsh might genuinely slow the bleeding. Tighter policy, a smaller balance sheet. That is better than the alternative, and we should want it. But slowing a 100-year trend at the margin is not the same as money no one can expand at all. Kevin Warsh may genuinely be the best chair for the dollar in a generation. But the best captain of a sinking ship is not the same thing as a ship that cannot sink. If the strongest hawk the system can produce still calls it a reverse Robin Hood and still cannot turn it off, maybe the answer was never a better chair. Maybe it was money no chair controls. This is Exit Velocity. Educational only, not financial advice. If this reframed it for you, subscribe. And the full breakdown is in this week's receipt newsletter.